Mr. Walker, for all you guys that don't know me. So basically, the key purpose of this meeting was to basically let you guys know that August 4th, campus will be open up for labs for you guys. So the way this process is gonna work is for the next couple of days, the director's supposed to hop on to the conversation, but she ran into a problem today. So the next couple of days, you guys need to check your email. The school will be sending you an email with a video, letting you guys know how you can basically schedule your labs. So labs are gonna be Monday through Thursday. They're only gonna be 2 hours. So lab spots are there's only 14 people per spot for 2 hours. And so as soon as it gets filled up, it won't let you do anymore. The video is pretty much gonna walk you through how you're supposed to register for all your class. Basically, you make set an appointment for a lab. So let's say it's Monday. Labs are open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you would look on the calendar and select the mod that's coming up. So it'll be 130 or 160, whatever it may have you. So you'll pick that date for the lab and it'll let you know available times that's open for that lab. So you'll select the time for that time spot, whether you're a night student or a morning student or whatever have you. So you'll basically click on a list and it'll bring up, the mod, and this is the lab right here, and whatever times are available and how many slots are available. And it'll let you know if it's filled or not. That's basically how this is gonna work. So every time you guys want to do a lab, there's no limit to how many days you guys can come, except for Monday through Thursday. But the spots are limited, so you can't. Let's say if you have a lab one day, you can't go back and get a lab, two labs in one day. So you just have to wait till the next day. Basically, is what it is. So, but the video will explain all that to you guys, and they'll let you know when the labs get filled and everything like that. So basically, there's not going to be any lecture whatsoever. So once the school opens back up, all your lectures are pretty much going to be on YouTube. So I'll send you guys a link. So I have to pre-record them because me and Mr. Lucas are only two people doing labs right now. So I'll be busy doing labs about this time from 6 to 10, so that you guys still get your lecture. Everything will be posted on YouTube ahead of time, and I'll send the links as soon as they get ready to get done. So is everybody pretty much kind of clear on how that's working, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions about that, or?
Sounds good to me.
You guys ready to get back to some kind of school, at least, or what?
Yeah, labs are a must, man.
Yeah, I know you kind of missed out, Mr. Serrano.
Gotta wear a mask, obviously.
So they'll send a link.
Yeah,
this week.
Probably by tomorrow, you guys should have the link no later than Monday. Because, like I said, the labs open up on Tuesday. Basically, we're scheduling a spot to come in and do your guys' lab for 2 hours.
Hey, Mr. Walker, I just joined in right now. Sorry about that. Do you mind repeating?
I'm sorry, who's this?
Louis
Garcia. Okay, guys. Guys, mute your microphone for a minute, please. Okay, so basically, the way the labs are gonna work, the whole point of this meeting was the director was supposed to get on, because she was supposed to basically ask you guys. So continue on with your education. It's basically gonna be split up into two ways. So what they call residential and virtual. Right now, what you guys do is what they call virtual. So that means everything's done online, your homework, everything, labs, all that. So if you guys look on the paperwork, the emails I send you guys on Monday or Tuesday, whenever the mod starts, it has a little side in there that says labs and it's a bunch of YouTube videos, whatever it is. If you keep on virtual, that's how your labs are going to be. They're going to be all done online. So once you watch whatever videos and do whatever it tells you into those questions, then you will send that in. If you want to do residential is when you guys come back up to the school in 2-hour blocks, and you do a lab for like I say, you do a lab for 2 hours. So basically, we just do whatever it is that the mods required is Monday through Thursday. So let's say, it's no limit on how many days you guys want to do a lab. The thing is the availability. So we only have 14 slots per every 2 hours. That's the ratio that they came up with for not anybody, to promote social distancing and, avoid everybody from getting sick or anything like that. So basically, after your 2 hours is done, then you can come back, schedule a lab for the next day, Wednesday, whatever it is, or Thursday, whenever it's like that. So that's basically how it's going to work. They're going to send you an email either tomorrow or Monday. And in the email, you guys are going to have to confirm whether you guys want to be a virtual student or you want to be a residential student. So you'll have a letter you guys need to sign saying, hey, I want to be a residential student. So basically what it is the lab part that's on your guys's the questions that I send you guys weekly. You guys wouldn't do the lab part or the questions. You guys will do your lab when we get to the school. So basically, we'll have a couple objectives for you to reach during the week, and you guys need to reach those objectives, and that'll be pretty much like 25% of your grade, 50% of your grade. You guys reaching those objectives by the end of the week, and then you just turn them in either through email or Thursday when you guys leave the lab. Is everybody kind of clear on that?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean it's pretty much simple, guys. When you guys see the video, you'll know. The lab, I mean the login site, I think it's called Genius or something like that. So it's like I said, it's pretty much easy. You're gonna see the mod, whatever mod that we're in, 160, and it'll have the lab days, Monday, Thursday, from 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. You pick the slot, it lets you know when the slot is full, so you guys can't pick anymore. You guys can keep going like that. Like I said, you guys can come, all 4 days of the week if you want to, as long as the spots are open. You can come 2 days a week. You can come one day a week. From 6 to 10, those are the last days for 2 hour blocks. So you'll have objectives that you guys need to go over or reach for that module, and then you guys will have till Thursday to get the objectives done. I mean, you guys still have to do your homework part and your exam part, but other than that, you'll have your hands-on back again for those that want to do the hands-on. So, is everybody pretty much leaning that way to do hands-on? I mean, do residential?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
the hands-on for sure.
Okay.
So my question is, could we take advantage of both the residential and virtual?
Well, when you do residential, it basically is you're still gonna do virtual. Like I said, your online still gonna be there regardless. Like your lectures will be online. But since I'll be at the campus at right about now to 10 o'clock, your labs will be, I mean your lectures will be pre-recorded. So I'll still come on YouTube as soon as they get done. You guys can go on YouTube anytime that you want.
Okay. So say for
All your
example, I
schoolwork.
say, oh yeah, go ahead. You good?
No, go ahead, man.
Okay, so say I put residential and you guys sent the letter and I signed it. So say I don't show up and I do the whole lab here at home. Would that be like affecting some kind of like contract or whatever that states on the mail that you guys are going to send?
No, it wouldn't affect anything. This is up to you guys because, like you said, when you guys sign up for this class, you guys sign up to do basically hands-on. The whole thing is everybody's pretty much, a lot of people are pretty much split. Some people don't like doing this online virtual thing because, like you said, you can't get your hands there. You can't really see what's going on. It's not really in front of you guys. You just reading out of a book. So it's up to you. If you can't make it that day, it's not really a big deal. It's just that the lab is open for you guys to come in and do your hands-on and get your training. I mean, we won't be doing anything. We can't do anything, any classwork or any kind of discussion inside the lab. This lab is just for lab. So whatever, like I said, whatever objective is, whether it's change out like a compressor for the day or learn how to charge a system, that's what I'm focusing on for 2 hours. I can't do any kind of classwork with you guys. If you guys want classwork, one-on-one some other time, then we can do it with that. But lab is just for lab this entirely. So if you sign up for for residential and you can't make it that day or whatever, can't make it for that week or whatever it is, your worst case was kind of messed up, it's not going to be a hit against you. As long as you have your questions and everything else done, that's what I'm saying, it's still going to count. But just know that you have the option to come in at whatever date that you select to come and get some hands-on and learn how to get your troubleshooting or whatever it is, wiring, reading schematics, whatever that we may be doing.
Okay.
Does that kind of answer your question? Anybody have any questions, concerns?
So another thing I had in mind is so as we're doing the labs right then and there, are we going to could we answer the review questions that we'll be getting for that lab, or we'll have to wait to get home and then answer the questions?
You talking you come inside person?
So so for the modules and the lab studies that we're gonna do for doing whatever we're gonna do at the campus, are we gonna get questions for those kind of things, oh, so how did this work, or how did this work with that, and then will we be able to do it at the campus, or we'll have to wait to get home to do that?
Okay, so if you pick residential, like it's still gonna stay the same. Like every Monday or Tuesday, whenever the mod starts or whenever the week starts for the mod, you'll still get that email from me with all your homework and everything in it. It's
Okay.
just the lab part you guys don't do. Usually there's a part in there for lab. I guess it's a bunch of like YouTube videos and stuff you guys have to do. You just
Yeah.
won't do that part. You're doing that in person. So when you come to the school, like I said, we'll have a checklist and there's certain things that need to get checked off. I don't know how many of you guys are like familiar, like military wise familiar. If you remember your CDCs from the military, like after you completed your test school, whatever it was, they had like a big checklist basically to before you guys got promoted, whatever it was, you had to get checked off on certain things, whatever job that you did or whatever it was. That's how it's kind of could be. When you come up there, I have a list for you guys, be like objectives for the list. So when you complete the objective, like I'll walk you through it and explain it to you, and then you'll have to show me how if you guys retain it, like if you guys know what it is, like as far as like recovering a charge from a system. I'm gonna show you how to hook it up and walk you through it, and then you'll have to demonstrate those skills to me so it can get checked off on the list.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Okay. So
All right.
that's how that'll work. You'll have, like I said, you'll have like five objectives or four objectives, whatever that we have to get through, from Monday to Thursday or whenever your lab is. I don't know how many days you guys can get in or
Mhm.
whatnot, but you'll have until that the end of the week basically to complete those objectives, and then I'll have to sign off. So like whatever it may be, like charging up a system, like I'll show you how to do it, and then you'll have to demonstrate it in front of me. So it's almost just like how you're doing. It'll almost be a simulation of how you guys do OJT in the field, because that's basically how somebody will show you in the field. Like you'll ride around with somebody, a senior tech, and then they'll probably show you how to do something if you guys don't remember or not too sure about something that you learned in school. And then after a couple of times, he's gonna be like, "Oh, go ahead and do that," and he'll watch you do it, and then what I'm saying, like he'll be reporting back to your boss. So yeah, he's pretty familiarized with charging, or pretty familiar with brazing or something like whatever it may have you.
Okay. So for doing that, will it be first come first serve, or are we gonna have to like
Yeah. So
make an
basically,
appointment?
inside that email you're about to get, so the system that they use is called Genius. So it's basically like an appointment setter. So it'll have whatever mod that we're in. So we're in mod 160. So it'll have mod 60, 6 to 8, and then one for 6 to 10. You'll click on whatever hours you want within those 4 hours that you want to go to. So then it'll let you know, this is how many slots are available. So it's up to 14 slots. So it'll let you know when you click on there, oh, this slot is already filled up. You'll have to pick another day or another time.
Okay. So then, depending on the module and what we're doing that week for like our assignments, it will be like roughly school 2 to 4 hours, or just be 2 hours max.
It's just 2 hours, 2 hours a day. That's it.
Okay, and that's from 6 p.m., right? It's not gonna be from 6 or 8.
Yeah, so it's from 6 to 8, and then it goes from 8 to 10.
Oh, okay, and then I'll just be able to pick between those two.
Right, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Quick question. What about the old mods that we already did? Are they gonna do labs for that as well, or are
Yeah,
we
so
gonna evolve
basically,
pretty much forward from what we're doing now to?
what it is, I'm basically your lab instructor. So basically, whatever things you have questions on, we can go back through whatever it is. So you guys can bring those questions.
Okay.
We just can't do any schoolwork inside the lab. That's the only thing. I can't do a lecture or we can't do any homework. But anything you want to go over, like, hey, Mr. Harker, we covered this module, when we're on our break, whatever it is. Okay, I'll, what I'm saying, like, I'll zoom through it and be like, hey,
Okay, gotcha. So we pretty much we could so say I don't know whatever module we went over 3 weeks ago. We had a lab where we could just talk to you and then we could go ahead and just do that lab work.
right, exactly.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Or whatever I have with you. It's either or. So if you don't, if you feel like you guys want to brush up on something that's in the past, or you want to roll with whatever we're doing for the day or whatever I suggested, it's up to you, because this is how you guys need to learn or catch up on. But even after, I know some of you guys are close to getting out of here in a couple months. Even after that, they'll still have another lab open for the seniors where you guys can go make up the stuff that you did miss out on. If you what I'm saying, if you just want to wait after that. But like I said, it's either or. So if you want to catch up on whatever it is while I'm there, because it's just me and Mr. Lucas right now that's just running the department. So I'm not really gonna be like, oh, we're set on this set schedule. If you guys have a problem with something, or something you want to try, whatever like that, we're more than welcome. The 2 hours is all yours to do whatever you guys want to for that day. But there will be makeup labs for you, for the seniors or for the people that are about to graduate that do want to, brush through stuff that they missed out on, while we were, held up through the pandemic and everything like that.
Okay. One more thing. So you said that we'll be able to cover some of the old things. So say we will be able to cover some of the old things because you said that, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to check off for this assignment that he knows how to do this and that, work on this and that. So if I was to say, for example, I had passed like an assignment from Flexi Quiz from the old ones, and then I go over that one again, how would that work? Would I be graded double, or would it be like which one's greater? So like this one had an A and this one had a B, so we'll go with the A. You know what I mean? Because like we're gonna be going through the module with you, so then that'll be like an automatic pass, or should we just like skip that and then just continue on like the new ones, like the new modules that we'll be going through? You know what I mean?
Well, no, we'll still go through the newer modules, but the thing is, kind of just because you went through a module doesn't mean there's always a lab for it or something like that, So what the thing is,
Okay.
whatever you did in Flexi Quiz is whatever you did in Flexi Quiz. This is just the lab. You're just making up the lab parts of the modules that you missed. Is basically what it is. So
Okay, right.
you're pretty much new, I believe, right, Lewis? Because you haven't really been here that long. You didn't really miss anything. So this is for like
Yeah.
people that been here, like back in March, like right when we shut the school down. So they've been on distance learning
Okay.
since March all the way till now. That's what they're talking about. You're just starting, so you didn't really miss anything, but
Yeah. So
messing with
okay.
the electrical stuff like that. So that won't be nothing for you to do that. Whatever you did in Flexi Quiz that's your pretty much your in class hours. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make up the lab hours. So
Oh, okay. All right, for sure. Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out how everything's working. I'm just trying to get on the same book as everybody.
yeah, so that's why I'm telling you, you didn't really miss anything. So like I said, there's pretty much stuff that you had to do while you was in class that you can do while you're there. You'll be signing up for like the 130, like the general electrical class like that, and we'll be in a different classroom. You'll be learning how to wire the boards and do certain stuff with electrical, and then you'll move on as the mod moves on. This
Oh,
mod's pretty
okay.
much this week's pretty much the only week to this mod, and the rest is like green awareness, and then it's basically for the older students, the seniors. This is basically where they get their EPA. They study for their EPA test in this mod.
Okay, so
So
just for
you're
so
not
speaking
gonna
for
really be, huh?
yeah, so just speaking for myself, I just gotta worry about my week's assignment and then just wait till next week to like get the ball rolling, right?
Right, exactly. So every week you worry about that assignment every week, but I'm saying you're still fairly new. You didn't really, what I'm saying, you're not gonna be behind. So you kind of understand what I'm saying. You just really missed the electrical part. So the thing is, after you got the intro classes, then that's when you come into what they call the advanced mod. So you're like in the advanced mod right now. So you're just starting out.
Okay, cool, man.
So you,
All right,
like
that's
I
fine.
said, you really didn't miss like too much. These guys will probably be with you in the electrical mod because what I'm saying, like they missed some of that stuff. So they'll need to refresh on the boards and how to wire stuff up and read schematics and stuff like that. So they'll be pretty much with you in that same mod, but you haven't really missed anything. Like I said, this mod is pretty much a easy mod that you're going into. Pretty much we'll be discussing, after today, after the ice makers, I'm pretty much discussing like the CFCs, the HFCs, how to study for the EPA tests and stuff like that, green awareness.
All right, for sure, man. I'm all good.
Hey, Mr. Walker.
But yeah.
For the EPA, what areas should I focus on as far as studying?
We need to know like a couple of dates. Pretty much, did I ever get you that book? Did I ever pass you that book out when you were in class, Mr. Serrano?
There was like a big old packet with like the type 1, type 2, core, and all that.
So practice that. There's a lot of answers in the book. There's a lot of those answers in the book.
And what was that website where we took the practice test?
So it's
ESCO?
www.esco.org, escogroup.org.
Okay.
Hey, how did you guys get in the meeting? Did you guys get in through the link, or because I'm having people talking about they're having problems?
I just got onto the email.
Yeah.
The email you sent
You
me.
guys did get an email?
Yeah.
Okay. But yes,
I
ESCO
think
group.
it's just easier to download the app though, honestly, because I was having issues as well. And
Uh-huh.
I couldn't go through my laptop, so I had to use my phone.
Really. Let me tell them. Let me see that happen. So you said if they download the app, they'll be good.
They got to
Yeah.
download the app, they name in there, and then they could go through the link that you send.
That's kind of weird because some people never had no problem getting in here before. Yeah, so just basically just study that book, Mrs. Ron. You'll be good after that.
Okay.
I had a question. If we work at night, would there be a possibility to schedule a lab in the daytime?
Yeah, there will be. I did mention your situation, Mr. Means. The only thing is with you, you're gonna have to wait till the mod ends so you can jump back to daytime again. That's the only problem. But yeah, Mr. Lucas has a problem. We can accommodate you some kind of way. You just reach out by email or text, say, I want to come in at this date. We can try to make arrangements for you if the class is not filled. But like I said, look out for your email. Pretty much, the way you guys are gonna log in to schedule your appointments for the labs. It's gonna explain that whole process for you. So I think you'll be able to. You won't be just locked into like night class. You'll be able to look at all the available labs that day, and then you can log in that day.
Okay.
I'm
You said
selling my car.
do that now or wait? I have to wait till the end of this mod that we're on.
Yeah, you gotta wait till the end of this mod before you can transfer back over
I'm
to
selling
the
that for
daytime.
14.
Okay.
That's the only problem.
All right.
Anybody else? Anything?
Yeah, I'm on.
Anybody else? Questions? Huh? I guess. Give me 1 second. Let me let some more people in here. I'll be right back.
The app has started working.
Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it.
Oh. So basically, tonight's lecture is on chapter 87, which is ice machines. Okay, you guys can see it right now.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the objectives are to estimate the size of the ice machine required for a particular application, to explain the difference between cubes, crushed ice, flake ice, shaved ice, and block ice, and what applications are best suited for these types of ice, and determine if the ice machine needs to be cleaned or not. So basically, in the introduction, back in the 1940s is when they first started really manufacturing big ice blocks. They would make them in big old industrial plants along the river. They would have to get it out because the river would freeze over, and only certain times a year the ice will be available. They have to go to the coldest spots and they get conveyors and ship the ice in, covered with sawdust and do whatever else they had to. Ice has always been a valuable commodity before the advent and commercialization of mechanical refrigeration systems. They used to go to rivers, like I said, and cut out into large blocks with hand saws. So pretty much every ice machine is basically a sample basic refrigeration cycle. It's the same refrigeration cycle. You're gonna have always your four main components: your compressor, your evaporator, condenser, and then a TXV. So it's going to monitor the flow of refrigerant into the evaporator. So those four basic components is what you always have in whatever mechanical system that you're talking about. But even though there are many different types of ice makers, like I said, they're all going to have the same major components. That's why it's important to have a good understanding of your basic refrigeration cycle. So we all know that the compressor is going to compress the gas into a high temp, high pressure into the condenser, that's down to a liquid, and then go into evaporator where it evaporates back into a vapor. The commercial ice machines, they're often used for food service applications such as restaurants, institutional kitchens, cafeterias. They can be found in places, hotels, hospitals, theme parks, resorts, casinos, cruise ships. They're often used when limited ice needs, and they don't take up much space. So this is pretty much a big commercial one that you'll pretty much find like in type of restaurants. If y'all know y'all been to the hotels, probably see the skinny ones that's in the hallways. So sometimes the over-the-counter ones that they have like at McDonald's. Just depending on where you're going with the ice needs is for that day. So everything's pretty much pre-calculated how many tons of ice that the ice machine is gonna make. That you'll see on the data play, it'll let you know how much it'll make within a day. But usually, ice machines typically from the start will produce ice like every 10 minutes. So if you start up an ice machine that said you had to repair and it was down for like a day or 2 or 3 days, within about 10, 15 minutes, you'll see it to start what they call harvest ice. So harvest ice they get from a long time ago. Harvesting the ice pretty much is collecting the ice up, whether it's in a tray or a bin or auger or whatever may have you. One thing that's important though for the ice machines is going to be your water quality. The quality of the water that's used inside the ice is going to determine the hardness or the thickness that the ice forms into. So the more bubbles and everything else is the poorer the water quality. So you always want to make sure that the filters are changed in the ice machines and that you pretty much do a PM on it regularly, depending on what type of work that you get into, whether it's working at Sears or working at a building or a hospital. I come from primarily a hospital background, so we have a bunch of ice machines all over the hospital. That's what they give to the patients. There's something about patients eating the ice chips that make them feel a little bit better. They have them going like that. So basically, the key things to ice machine is pretty much a simple process. One of the depending on the manufacturer, I would take it because there's a whole bunch like Symphony, Follett. You have Hvac. There's a whole bunch of ice machines, but pretty much the number one thing I can tell you part that always fails or that failed the most on it was a TXV for whatever reason. The TXV will monitor the flow of refrigerant into the tubes to produce a flow of ice. Because some machines, like you'll see, like when we get back in the classroom we have a bin with a plate type ice machines, kind of like the little ice trays that you have inside your house in your refrigerator, inside the older refrigerators. So the water flows along a tray and then it cubes up on the side. Most of them are flake ice machines or what they call bit ice machines. So they'll have kind of like an auger. If you think about like a thermos that you take to work, it'll be insulated like that, and the coil will go. That's where the refrigerant will wrap around to a coil. So ice will create inside the inner cup, and they'll have an auger that'll go scrape the ice up and down. So one way that you can tell a TXV is going bad is low production ice. It might not be producing the ice amount that it usually produces. Your customers will pretty much tell you like, oh, before it went or before it started acting funny, the ice used to be, this high. Like every day when I came in the morning, or throughout the day, it maintains the level of ice. And that's the first thing they'll know. They'll always tell you like it's not producing as much ice. The way you guys can check a TXV on an ice maker is if you get a cup of ice cold water and you stick the bowl into the ice cold water and you have your gauges on, the gauges should spike up because it should be opening up to meet the demand for the cold or closing depending on whether the cup is lukewarm or ice cold. Another thing to think about when you deal with ice machines is they're what we like to call critically charged machines. So a critically charged machine is whatever that charge is red on top on the side of the ice maker, that's what the charge is, and that's what the amount that has to be there. Anything lower, anything over will affect the production of the ice machine as well. It'll affect the production of the ice and how much it is for it to harvest off. So you guys gotta be careful when you hook up your gauges to an ice machine. You guys want to make sure you guys have low loss fittings on your gauges when you guys hook up to an ice machine, because even the little bit that comes off when you disconnect will cause throw the ice machine out of whack. So this is pretty much the evaporator of an ice machine. This is pretty much the one you guys will see when you guys get into the lab. This is pretty much what we have right here. It's going through what they call the freeze cycle. So basically, water's running down, and inside these copper tubes, right through here is where the refrigerant is going to flow. So the cold water is going to run, and then it's going to start forming ice cubes into each of these slots right here. So this is what they call the harvest cycle. So basically, the harvest cycle is just when they break out the ice out the plate right here. So like I said, you have the water coming through, and the refrigerant is running through to the coils, and it's forming up to whatever the time was on the ice machine. So when it's ready to harvest, at the compressor, it's going to use the hot gas that's coming out the compressor through a switch, like a little valve. It's going to send the hot gas over into the back of the plate, and then that's what it's going to use to release the gas. That and a little like push button auger comes out in the back of it, and it'll push out all the ice out in the back. So right here we're gonna talk about the reservoir and the flow switches. So basically, the reservoir is where the water is kept until the next ice making cycle is needed. So this keeps backup water. It's always gonna fill up to a certain amount. So when it's calling for ice to be made, it's gonna release the water out the reservoir and then down into the auger and to wait to get production gets to produce the cold ice. So the inside the reservoir is going to be like a little float switch, water level. So when the water level drops, it's going to tell it to fill back up and then wait for it to be called to get to ice again. So this is just showing you different places where the floats can be located at. So also on ice machines, they have what they call bin controls. So these gonna be like I told you, like on pretty much like the flake machines and different kind of ones. It's pretty much two photosynthesis eyes that meet together, and they can tell whether the ice is at the top of the limit of the bin. So they'll pretty much dictate the ice level. So once it goes below the eye level of the lasers in there, it'll let the ice machine know, hey, kick on, we need more ice, we're getting low. So that's another issue too with the ice makers is the bin level controls as well. So if they're kind of, some are push button or levelers that will fill the weight of the ice in there. Other ones are photocells. Sometimes those can get dirty and stop ice as well, because it'll create a false reading on it. It'll read like it's already full, so it won't activate the ice machine to make any more ice. So basically, this is the fake machine that I was telling you guys about right here. So this is the coils wrapped up, and the water will go inside and form a heart into the inside of the cup, what they call a cup right here. So this is the auger that comes in. It'll scrape up against the ice that's built into the wall, and then what they call flake the ice. So this is the inside of the cup, how it would be inside this without all the insulation and stuff on it. So the auger just turns up, turns down, turns up, turns down, scrapes the ice throughout the whole ice making process. So here's another look at the auger right here. Very rarely do these, I say from my experience, do these go bad at all. Pretty much like I told you, some of the things that's mainly important for ice makers is really just cleaning them. They'll all have what they call a flush cycle, which you can flush any mineral deposits out the water may carry. Sometimes, they're not plumbed in with filters. They're just plumbed in straight out the tap water. So that's always harmful too. A lot of times it's just, like I said, a proper maintenance too. You'll need whoever you work for should have a proper ice machine cleaner that's a little bit of nickel, a little bit of lime away. You don't want nothing too abrasive because you don't want to scratch anything or rip away any of the components inside the ice maker, because some stuff is plastic, some stuff is hose. It's not all just metal in there. And like I said, then it's just the ice machine have instructions for cleaning. Usually they'll have a book with it. If it doesn't have a book, always when in doubt, look at your data plate right here, get the name and just Google it. You can always Google manufacturers out the ice machines. I can't tell you enough how Google or the internet has always helped me when paperwork is just old, because you'll in this industry you'll run across a lot of old equipment. That's basically everybody who calls equipment is really old, either because they're too cheap or they don't have enough money to replace the equipment, or they didn't know about proper maintenance or anything like that. But whenever in doubt, like I said, look at the data plate and you can pull up the pamphlet, the material booklet for any type of ice machine that you're working on. Whenever you're in doubt or somebody doesn't know that you're working with. So this is just showing you a picture of what they call flushing. This is part of the cleaning system. So it's just flushing out the whole system right here. This will be the reservoir. It'll be hooked up to a hose right here with a solenoid to open up and just start flushing water out, trying to clean out any harmful deposits that came in there or anything like that doesn't belong. So like I said, it's the hot gas, what they call hot gas harvest cycle. Hot gas coming off the compressor and shoot it through in order to harvest the ice off. Like I said, the discharge from the compressor, your condenser's coming in, back out to the receiver, and it's coming from the condenser outlet. So this will be your control point right here. So just switch off the gases. So they're pushing it straight through, it'll push it down, and then it'll break off the ice. Like I said, there's another picture of the refrigeration cycles. It's letting you know the different types when the gases, what stage the gases is at different points. Okay, so sometimes ice makers is not always in one unit. Sometimes you need remote condensers, what they call remote condensers. So basically the condenser parts is located outside. Ice makers have a certain temperature, ambient temperature they need in order to run in. So if it's too hot, it won't run right. If it's too low, it won't run right. So also ice makers give out their own heat as well, because like they have all the basic components of a refrigeration cycle. They have the condenser, the fan, everything. So if that's all located in one space, and the restaurant or whatever space that they're located into is above 70 or 70 degrees, pretty much ice maker won't really work all that well, because it relies on the ambient temperature as well in order to help it through the cycle that it's going through. It either ambient temperature either help with the subcooling more, or just taking away the heat from that's going on from the compressor as well. So when we have larger ice machines and inside the area that it is, and the temperature is going to be really hot, we will locate them outside in order for it to run more efficiently. So freeze-ups. So freeze-ups are the most important service problem associated with ice machines. Always, like I said, always check the simplest thing first. It could be an evaporator causing the ice to stick to the freezing coil, so it may not release during the harvest cycle. Also, it might be too much water flow, which will cause ice buildup. Also, on your newer ice machines, they'll have what they call a control system. So basically, just be a board, just like the boards inside the FAUs, inside the air handlers, and it'll give you a fault code. It'll let you know, like, hey, no ice, or bin controls not working, or stuck in flush cycle, whatever it may have you. So it pretty much helps the troubleshooting process, or where you go to begin to look at. So there's a real accurate picture of a 3D board right here. I have a control system with LED lights that lets you know. It's in the bin cycle. The bin is full right now. It's in the freeze cycle. It's in the harvest cycle, or it's in the clean or the off position. So in summary, there are many different models and types of ice machines. So the most common types are cube ice and flake ice machines. Both types will utilize the standard refrigeration cycle. Well, all machines utilize the standard refrigeration cycle. And there's always a logical reason for an operating problem, like I said. So, like we said, if you always check the most common stuff, say if your fan motor is running, see what your pressures are, see what the amount of ice, check to see if the bin's not dirty. From my experience, though, if you just valve everything off, you clean out the ice bin, or if it hasn't been making any ice, run it through a flush cycle a couple of times. Like I said, grab you some ice maker cleaner and clean up all the parts, take the reservoir apart, all the hoses, wash it out. That'll stop it sometimes. A lot of the times too as well. And then, like I said, a lot of the times it's going to be like the TSV is going to be going bad on it. Very rarely you have to check to really check the charge of it. You check the charge. If it just wasn't, if you put your gauges on, but do you need to add a refrigerant? If you need to add refrigerant to an ice maker, since it's a sealed system, that will indicate that you guys have a leak somewhere. So it'd be a bigger issue. You just don't want to go adding on a bunch of refrigerant, into the system, because like I said, it's a critically charged unit. So you gotta be careful. Whatever it says goes into the unit, that's whatever it says goes into the unit.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Uh,
Does anybody have any questions?
No, I don't.
negative.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm good.
No, thank you.
Okay, guys. So like I said, look at your guys' emails for either tomorrow and Monday about it'll explain the procedure for signing up for your guys' labs. And then how it's gonna work residential or being a virtual student. You guys can pick whatever ones you guys want to do. And then August 4th, I guess I'll see you guys there.
All right.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Sounds good.
Have a good night. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Yeah, I missed how what you were saying about the assignments. If the assignment you gave us the other day, is that due this coming Monday?